know I talk a lot, and I'll give you this. Future CFM meetings, which we've got another one scheduled for not next month, but the month after. I'm not going to talk this much. We're going to be interacting more. But giving you a chance now. Questions?
Say somebody took the 13-week or 2 or how many is that for the year? 4? 3 months? So that would leave out the people who really also would want to teach. I've ran into that issue before, and that's why I stopped teaching.
Okay. That's one of the things we need to talk about, because right now we don't have enough teachers to do the ministry we need to do.
Oh,
You
right,
see what I'm saying? We can't staff a K2 class yet.
right,
So if one person was willing to do, 4 people were willing to do that
right,
and rotate on the K2 class a quarter at a time, we're set.
hello, right,
You know, if it's conflicting, the other thing we need to think about is I want us to think more along the lines of co-teaching with our assistants,
yeah,
that they are involved. We look at the lesson plan ahead of time, we give them assignments. You're going to handle this piece. And then that's the team. 2 and 3 people are coming in and they're teaching together. And they're handling different parts of it. And it's not one person coming in just grabbing the book and
Right,
saying,
that's
okay,
right.
what do I do today? And the other person standing there, shh, be quiet, shh, be quiet, sit up, shh, be quiet. That's no fun for anybody.
right. Where's your mother sitting? Just kidding.
Okay? So we want to kind of move our thinking over to that.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
But yeah, that could be a schedule, and I don't want to exclude people from teaching because somebody's wanting to do that, but I think right now, we need,
But if you did do the 3-month thing and the other, if you went to the co-teaching, that,
yeah,
would eliminate, anybody being discouraged for going into help.
other questions?
Could it be a 4-week teaching jaunt instead of 13? 13 to me seems overwhelming, but like
That's
doing
one
a
of his
solid month
choices.
sounds,
4 in a year or 4 once a quarter?
4 weeks a month, a month.
Yeah,
four
so like you
consecutive
teach January and then
Right.
April,
Right.
and then, what, would it be June or something like that? Yes, we could work with that, I think, too. And, when it comes right down to it, I'm not sure how Becca works with this, but I would think, if you're going to be developing a little template and kind of planning out the months, it's going to kind of become the first person who talks to her is going to get plugged in first. Right? So if you want to teach, your schedule's open in April, but not May, hey, I'll take second service, for K2 for the month of April, plug them in. And then if somebody else wants to be involved every week, well, we've already got a lead teacher for April, but you can be an assistant once in April and then teach once in May and once in June. We're being flexible, we're working together, we're making it work for the sake of kids. Other questions?
Is it just gonna be people coming out and saying, yeah, I wanna do that and plug in? Is it gonna be looking at, because sometimes, from my experience, not just in church but outside, people's talents and gifts may not necessarily be in the area that they think that they are. So how then are we going to, because somebody signs up for, say, a month, and then we were like, or maybe even for a quarter, and then all of a sudden, maybe that's not really the place that person needs to be.
Gotta be some open communication.
Yeah, how is that?
Are we going to do that, Trish?
Probably.
Probably? What about the book you just read? Are we just going to stick people in?
Oh,
Or
no.
just wait for people to show up and...
No.
No, okay. Okay.
Are you sure?
Well, I don't understand what he's asking.
There will be recruiting. Trish.
Within the next few months, I want to move to more of a training in process. So if somebody comes up and says, hey, I want to be a teacher, okay? They're not teaching next week, okay?
For a while.
They might help for a couple of weeks, get some practice. We're going to get some feedback from the teachers. The kids working with them. Are they doing the lesson? Are they showing? being faithful, things like that, and then, okay, right now, we're in a pretty tight spot. Somebody says they want to teach. We know them, they've gone through the check, we're going to probably get them in there, but then I'm going to walk with you, okay? You know, Chris, courageous, bold man of God, you know, new curriculum. Haven't been teaching all that long, said, hey, can I come in and I put the offer out. If anybody wants to work, now I will sit with you and help you to design the lesson plan and talk to you about how it could work to fit you. Did you have fun that Sunday?
It was awesome. Yeah, kids
Okay.
enjoyed it too.
Good.
Are we supposed to wear that outfit every time we do this? Because I have it here and I'm like, I don't have that.
We have a trench coat and
They
a
got
hat
the stuff.
Oh, is
and
that
a
what it is?
magnifying glass
Okay.
with the briefcase.
Just be creative.
So you're
So
on
it's
board
available.
then with all what we're supposed to wear and,
If you
All
ask
the
me, I just got it from Becca today. Yep.
Yeah, so you ask her for what you need.
so it's gonna be in here on first service?
If you
This
ask for
Sunday,
it.
it's on the table right now in the resource room. You need to check the tables for your supplies. If I have a list, I put them together, they're sitting on the table.
And how do you prefer to get those supply requests? Is there a notepad in there?
There is
You're
a,
gonna wear it?
yes, there is a
think I am.
notepad there.
Just kidding. I'm sorry, what's that?
The best way probably be to email so
Yep.
that I have it. A lot of times I have to supplement from things I have at home, so that's probably the
Yeah,
best.
that's
way.
okay, I have boots too, I'll bring in, you know, I'll,
And
okay.
Barb's email is?
Yeah, and your email? It's
Holy
on,
Earth, H-O,
I think it's on the bulletin though, right?
yep,
Yeah, I'll just put bulletin,
What is it?
yeah,
holyearth@comcast.net.
okay.
Shannon, your question?
I just have a question. I'm a helper in preschool, so I just don't know, do we have like a team leader that kind of, because I know we have all policies and procedures that are all put into place, but what I'm noticing is that everybody's still kind of just they're doing little bits and pieces
Yes.
of those policies and procedures. So is there like a point person so that we can have the training for everybody, so that when all the preschool teachers, no matter where you are, you come in, you're following that set?
Yeah.
Not yet,
Okay,
but
I didn't know
I'm
if that
kind of
was
that
occurring.
point person. So if there are things that are going on that you're concerned about, mention, okay, this happened, I was kind of uncomfortable with that, you know, in a private setting
No,
or something
it's-
like that, so that,
It's
you know-
all there, all the pieces are there.
Mhm.
It's just that us as teachers and helpers, I just don't think we know to do it.
okay.
I don't know, does that make sense?
You're not all on the
It's
same
not
page?
consistency.
Yeah, like I
We don't
just
have
saw
a
it
way
inside
of-
the bullet, inside the cabinet. It had policy and procedure of what you're supposed to do when you walk in the room. I was like, oh, there it is, nice.
Yeah.
But it just seems to be like somebody might start something differently at a different time, and
There hasn't been a training for that in probably
it just
3
gets
years.
confusing.
so-
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna wanna do a lot of training on those kind of things. So if you know of pieces that you're gonna go, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, can we get some training on this? Send me an email and I'm adding it to my list and I'm gonna start doing that. There's some things I'm gonna want face-to-face with everybody. Okay, there's some things that I can do through a conversation. There's some things we might do the video training. It just depends on what it is.
And that kind of hits on what I was gonna ask about is, will there be, down the road when we kind of try to get things in place, training for teachers? I know that there's been some, like some day-long, conferences that were available, and, but is it something that we can maybe bring here and, set in place so that there's some trainings here for people that, maybe there's people that would like to help and are still kind of hesitant because they just don't know what's involved, and us just saying, oh, it's no big deal, if they maybe felt like there was a training they could come to that would give them more of the tools to be able to say, okay, yes, I guess that's, you know, I've gone through this training, I feel like I can do that, and,
I think just kind of off the top of my head, definitely within this year, hopefully by summertime, I would like to have kind of a training plan in place for anybody coming into teaching or helping. You know, you're gonna get these bits of information in this way, and we're gonna check and make sure you understand it so that you're on the same page. So if you're logging in, what do I do? I'm here. You know? So I'm looking to do that. We're looking for other options as far as training. The one thing that kind of concerns me as far as going somewhere else for training is sometimes you go somewhere else and you go, oh my goodness, I just wasted a whole day at this.
That's what I like to bring
yeah.
it here.
So, once a quarter, maybe twice a year, somewhere in there, I probably am going to try to do like a big 5 or 6 hour kind of training. And I will probably try, if we're going to invest that much to do it here, I'm probably going to try to invite other churches to participate, because if we're going to have training like that, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, can I elaborate just a little bit of what you're saying about the training? What, and the policies and procedures, and the do's and the don'ts. Well, when I first started teaching, we had a meeting for anybody who was going to teach, and there was background checks, and there's do's and don'ts list, and everybody got that, and that was mandatory. If you're gonna be back here,
We have all that. It's more just the structure of the classroom. I
not
think,
everybody
I'm
has
talking
that.
about.
I,
Well, it was in like the preschool, I think I was focusing more on. So.
right, but I bet you can get a handful of people that have been back here and taught, or even been in that nursery, that have not been either, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with them, or if they have a huge, list of, felonies or whatever, but I'm just stating, that maybe, because we did it with Lucy Cunningham, and it was something that we had to do before stepping back here. And that's
As
just
far as I
something.
know, most people have to fill out
Yeah.
everything before they can teach.
Okay.
That's
That's still going on then?
Yes.
Okay, see, I haven't been back here for a while, so,
One thing that might be confusing, if a parent wants to come back,
Yeah.
a parent can always come back. They
right,
don't have a background check, but they're not teaching, they're not taking responsibility.
right, and their child is back here.
Yes, right.
Yes,
They're
Yes.
observing, or they're there for comfort for the child. We
Right.
don't require a background check for that. But we wouldn't leave them with the classroom.
but, yeah, that's what my point is. That was what my point
And
was.
my
Okay.
thought with the training is that, because, even the teachers that have done it for a long time, a lot of years, is that sometimes by having, a training on, and maybe picking a topic, and you can get fresh ideas, you can get a new spin and try to, keep things exciting for the kids, even though we have different curriculum.
Curriculum.
To maybe bring in
Improv.
some new, fresh ideas, and by bringing people together, you get those ideas generated, and, for people that maybe haven't taught that long, it gives them some more tools, to put in their toolbox, and,
Good.
makes them feel a little more comfortable with teaching.
And there's going to need to be refreshers now and then too. I mean, I was talking to Robin this week and looking through some of the MOPS material, and this is really good stuff there. But sometimes it can be easy. Oh yeah, I read that 5 years ago. Well, we probably need to read it every year at least, just to kind of refresh on it and just kind of get excited about it again. It's really good stuff. So yeah, the refreshers and things like that. It's going to be a part of what we're doing. It's got to be. And it's going to, morph and shift depending on who's here and what's going on, and what our needs are. I think the good thing, in my mind, about having like some online video training is that anybody coming in at any point can jump in and start going through it. And, almost like a checklist. Yeah, I did those 5 videos. Okay, they've gotten a good training. We don't have to set up every quarter. Everybody comes in and goes through the same thing on progress report. Other questions? What are you saying, Chris?
I'm just thinking that if I don't put my name on it, I'm just gonna put your name on it. That's a tough one.
Yeah, it is. Well, I want, like I said, I want it to be safe, but if you can't put your name on it, should it be said?
Let's be honest here.
No, that's not.
I do have one more statement. I notice, I know it's not your road, and, and there's nothing you can do about it, so you don't want to help or participate, or, you can't make them do something, especially when they're 12 through 18 or whatever. But I've noticed the gap. There's a gap in, just getting along with each other to a certain degree. The gap between the 16 through 18-year-olds, pretty much from the 12 and, 15-year-olds, that like they don't know each other, that's what I'm trying to say, that they're, so that's maybe something Pastor might, in this area, yeah.
We also need to be careful, those that don't want to be here sabotage. So it doesn't do us any good.
What do you mean?
A teenager who doesn't want to
yeah.
be here helping
It's not helping.
It's not helping, no, I know.
is sabotage.
Right,
And it
that's
doesn't
right.
do us any good.
I want to
Right.
integrate teens into ministry. This is not an excuse to get out of service,
Right.
okay? There's a big difference. And, so we need to be, as far as I'm concerned, I check on that, and if we see that we're just coming back to, like there's a rush of teens want help in the nursery, yeah, they're texting and doing whatever else and not really helping. They're not helping. Other questions? I did just hand out to you a feedback sheet. I would appreciate it if you could fill this out and get it back to me tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought.
Yeah, I didn't hand you the same sheet twice. I only might look a little somewhere. One says agenda and notes, the other one's a feedback tool. I like to get evaluations on how things go, written. So like when we do events and things like that, I'm probably gonna have a little piece of paper to hand out to everybody for you to fill out on feedback on how that event went. We might even have a meeting after an event to talk about how the event went. What went well, what didn't go well, what we learned from it. That's part of the process.
You have to ask me who doesn't think that way. I have to write it down.
You're not writing your name, huh? You can read her writing?
I was just saying,
I'll
it's
second
already
this
happened,
first,
right?
that's fine, that's fine.
Too late for that.
In charge. Not fair.
Next meeting that I have been able to try the calendar, we couldn't even make one fit in February. Oops, grab the pen, doesn't it? We gotta wrap it up because that little man's getting bored with me. It's March 20th, 6:30 p.m. Please mark your calendars. And I am going to close us in prayer. If anybody has any other questions that are more appropriate to be asked individually, I'll hang out for a while. And the rest of you who are still working on your feedback things can finish those up. Lord, I thank you for each and every person that's here, for the passion and